Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video. Today I'm going over the January stat show for Kill Team, where I'm covering all the global event data for Kill Team. But before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of the video and the stats. Are you happy with what you see? Are you worried? Let me know. And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. But yeah, today I am going over the January stat show, where, just covering all the data from BCP, the app, as well as stuff people have submitted to us. And it's just going over the global trend for January. Notably, this is the first full month with the balanced Dataslate changes and the new critical operations rules. So we should be in for some interesting viewing, as well as we've had a lot of big major tournaments. The only thing is, I think we're just missing the LVO pods. So there's just 3 of them on the Friday. But there's not a huge change there, apart from Breachers technically winning one of the tournaments, which would boost their win rate a bit more. But that's it. And remember, thanks goes to Hot Sauce Teddy, because without him, none of this would be possible. So if you see him, remember to say hi and thank him. So let's get on with the stats review. So for the overall win rate for, January, starting off with the bespoke teams, overall, Elucidine and Star Striders have a 65.5% win rate, actually coming down from the 70s in the last week where it was. Then you have Galapox after their nerfs with a 62% win rate, and Imperial Navy Breachers on 57.7%, who didn't get nerfed, and who actually were at 50 for most of the month, and have now jumped up once again to be outside of the 55% range, because remember, we're looking for 55 to 45% as a healthy range. Then oddly, we have Legionary at 56%, and also Blooded at 56%. Then, you've got Novitiate at 55, and then you've also got Corsairs in the upper echelon. Then Intercession, Void Dance Troop, and Pathfinders all at around a 50% win rate. Vet Guard and Wormblade at 49 and 47. And then Hunterclade, borderline 45, but still fine with Warp Coven. Kazakin, just below 45, and then Kroot at 43 with their buffs. Orc Commandos dropping down a bit to 42%. And then with their buffs, not Orc Commandos, Phobos at 32.7, so 33%, and then Hierotech at 24. So they've actually done worse with their buffs. And then also you have Compendium, you have Death Guard, 37%. Like the meta representation has gone up a bit for most of these teams. It's gone down a bit for Galapox, but Imperial Navy Breachers have stayed the same. And it's gone up for Legionary and down a bit for Intercession. So some interesting looks there. And when we look at GT Plus results, so remember these are results with tournaments from 4 more rounds with 16 or more players. So Galapox have a nice and healthy 62.5% win rate. I think that's 3 months in a row with a greater than 60% win rate. So they're still good. Elucidine and Star Striders at 62%. If you didn't think they were going to be nerfed, they definitely seem to have been overbuffed, so it's a nice job there. Breachers at 60%, which is totally fine according to all the Breacher players, who thinks this is a balanced win rate. So, well, go there you go, Breacher players. Yeah, you're happy. Corsairs oddly at 57%, and Blooded at 57%. Void Dancers also at 57%, after they have been nerfed as well, although it wasn't really enough. And then you've got Pathfinders at 55, Novitiates at 54, and Intercession at 52, with Legionary at 52 as well. Intercession at 53. Vet Guard at effectively 50, Hunterclade at 47, and then you've got Orc Commandos at 43. So they're actually doing a little bit better. Wormblade down to 42.5% when it comes to GT Plus results, and Warp Coven at 41%. Kazakin do worse as well, going down to 40%. Kroot do worse as well, going down to 33. Oddly, Phobos and, both Phobos and Hierotech do a lot worse as well. So they're down to 27% and 20% respectively. Then, you've got Talons who won an event. Who didn't win an event. They've got a good win rate in this round, but I don't really pay much attention to Compendium teams unless they've got a high usage rate. Next, this is this is just the stats instead of bar charts, instead of like percentages and stuff, broken down into their actual numbers. So you can see Elucidine and Star Striders won 6 events with 10 podiums, undefeated 7 times out of 87 games, which is a good metrics. Galapox with 104, Breachers with 181, Legionary with 272, and then you've got Intercession with 292. So Intercession have come down a bit from their 350 last month. Then like Blooded have gone up a bit to 93 games, which is a good average. And then even Pathfinder's holding at 100. Wormblade also good at 83%. And then Warp Coven at 68, so a little bit more. Kazakin more games. Kroot with 137, so they have a great usage rate. And their win rate has not done well at all. And then Phobos, actually more popular than last month, but doing worse. And then Hierotech, they're actually more popular as well and have done even worse. So some interesting data there. We're going to have to wait for February for a full picture, but after the first 6 weeks of the balance changes, it doesn't look like it's actually done much. And you could argue it's maybe made the game worse because now we've got more teams with greater than 60% win rate, looking at Lucidity and Starstriders. So, you know, it also could be because of the critical ops change, but this is just what the stats are showing so far. Now we are at the monthly win rate trends. So remember, the thicker the line, the better. So don't worry, no flashing images. People didn't like me flashing, you know, Aku. So, you know, just imagine his image when I say thick, because you can see Intercession are still extra thick just with their win rate. And you can see how they're still evening out. You know, orange is Elucidity and Starstriders, who like, oh yeah, they were okay in December. They were at 44, and now they've gone up to 65% with January. And actually, they were at 70% and only came down in the last week. Gallopbox still doing amazingly well. You know, they're 5% off where they were back in October. So, you know, maybe there's still room for them to improve. And sadly, look at the Hierotech circle down in the bottom with green, and it's just, yeah, it's a bit sad, but this is only for bespoke teams because once again it looks like a mess, an absolute mess with compendium teams as well. Now this is the event Podiums, so this is a new thing done by Hot Sauce Teddy. He managed to fix his app because the reason thing we couldn't show it before because we lost the ability to show who won what, but this breaks down. This is for GT Plus results. So this is showing who won what events. So you can see Intercession won 2 events and placed third in 2. So they had 4 top 3 placements. Gallopbox Infective won 2 events, notably LVO as well. Vetguard won 1 in Poland. Orc Commandos won an event. Legionary won an event. Elucidity and Starstriders won an event and came second in another. And then you can see who else came second and third. So these are GT Plus results. And on the left, you can see the notable winners. So like for London, you had Gallopbox winning. LVO, you had Gallopbox winning. Spain, you had Starstriders winning. Then Peru, you had Intercession Squad winning. Poland, Vetguard winning. United States, Legionary winning. And then Intercession and Commandos winning the rest. So a nice look. I'll show the slide now for all results. It just looks a bit messy. So if we look at all results, I can't actually scroll all the way down because there are too many. But on the right, you can see Intercession won the most. They won 9 events. Then Legionary won 7. Starstriders won 6 events. Gallopbox came 4th. And, you know, Vetguard in 3rd. Imperial Navy Breaches with 3rd. But they also got 3 second place finishes and 2 third place finishes. So really good positioning there. And, you know, even Intercession, they came second twice and they came 3rd place 7 times. But that's just a more nicer average of looking at all tournaments. But I can go into more detail with the proper breakdown. But you can even see when not looking at GT Plus events, Kroot won 3 events, came second in 2 and came third in 2. So they are pulling their weight. It's just their win rate is not doing well at all. And then I think the only interesting one is you've got General Space Marines, which I assume are people just playing Intercession who have mislabeled it. Phobos even came second once, you know. There's hope there. Kazakin came twice at 2 events, you know. You've even got Comrade there for some reason, but there we go. And now this is just the size of the meta, you know, adding on from last month. So as we can see, January was the best month for players. We had the most players in kill teams with slightly more events than December, still less than what we had in September to November. But January has been the largest month of kill team ever. So a bit deceptive from the number of events. We've just had fewer events, but with more players, which is great to see. And, you know, you can see the global share there. So not too much to add, but starting off the year, it looks great for Kill Team. So yeah, for the January stats overview, you know, we're in a weird spot where, like, the meta has not really changed. You could argue it's gotten worse, but it's interesting to see, is it because of the new critical ops changes, e.g. new tac ops, more command points, the scouting phase changes, or is it because the balanced data slate didn't hit hard enough and it missed stuff like breaches? Don't know. We're gonna have to wait for February for a full look. But I mean, if I was a betting man, I would be very surprised if breaches, Galapox, and the Lucidine Starstriders didn't get hit in the next balanced data slate. Be very surprised. Unless you're in the breacher chat on Discords who think breaches are fine. And I'm not, not trying to say who needs to be nerfed, but, remember 45 to 55% win rate is what we look for. And when a team is consistently scoring 60% or above 55% every month, that might be an issue, no matter what team is. But the other interesting thing is looking at how Farstalker Kinban haven't really done that well. Their win rate has gone up from like 30s to 40s, but they're still below average. And they've had a nice bump in players. Phobos and Hyrotech have actually done worse, even though they got a good set of buffs, but it shows maybe it's not enough. I mean, definitely not enough for Hyrotech, but Phobos still aren't in a good spot, really. The interesting thing is how Intercession has come down in their popularity, but we've got less teams underperforming, which is good. So less teams less than 45%. The only issue is Hyrotech have gone below 30%, and now we've got another team above 60%, which is really bad. So it's kind of weird extremes, right? Lucidine and Starstriders have gone from like a 30% win rate to 65, 70%. So something's definitely happened there. Have we had another Hunter Clade issue? Who knows? After all, it is only the first month, we're going to have to see how February does for the Starstriders, and most of the teams changed. But, I mean, the game still feels fine. I think the weirdest thing is the scouting changes and the new critical ops, because scoring victory points is now very easy, but also picking tac ops and all the tac ops, like namely Seek and Destroy, being very strong. And the scouting changes have changed stuff, but we can't really quantify that in the stats. So I guess we haven't really seen much of a change. Just less teams are doing worse, but more teams are doing too good. So I'm not sure how to quantify that. We're going to have to see how February does. But yeah, I think we'll need to see February to make a full result. But based on the January results, I think we need another bigger hitting balanced data slate, which is weird because I thought even though the last balanced data slate was missing some stuff, clearly it needs to do more. So, but we'll see. Remember, February, it's only 1 month, so a lot could change in February. And then we should get a new one in March. So we'll see. And we've also got the drop of Soul Shackle this weekend. So that may change stuff as well. That's pretty much it from me. Please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of the stats in this video as a whole. Remember, I'll have an article version of this down in the episode description below if you want the slides. And yeah, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below where Hot Sauce Teddy resides, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. So I'll quickly shout out my patrons. So for my adepts of the crit, I have Samario, Screech, Sam, Robin, Ninja Lee 83, Nick, Kenzie, John Thomas, Eric, Captain Murder, Daniel, Average Joe 27, and Arthur. And then for my veterans of the crit, I have Samja. So thank you so much for all your support. It really helps so much. But yeah, that was a nice look at the stats. I kind of left out the 45 to 55% win rate thing because it's kind of really hard to properly show in like video and article. So I think it's just easier to leave it out because it's a repetition anyway. But, interesting month. I was expecting breaches to hold at 50 because they held at 50 up until the last week of January and this went shot up, and Starstriders went down a bit. But kind of went as I was predicted. But I still think the meta is good. It's just there's more extremes, which is weird. But yeah, I'll be back on Saturday. I'll be at Warhammer World, so if you're around, say hi. I'm also there on Friday, technically. So if you are there Friday, say hi. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So until next time, remember, no matter what the stats say, you can always win as long as you always roll a crit.